So on the phone today, super stoked about this, man. We have a champion, and couldn't be happier, especially because the Ultimate Fighter of the season 20 is running right now. One of the coaches, current UFC lightweight champion, defending his belt this Saturday against Gilbert Melendez on pay-per-view. Make sure you check it out. It is none other than the Anthony Pettis. Thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. The fight this Saturday, going to be very exciting. We spoke to Gilbert Melendez actually a couple weeks ago, and we're both, Dodge and I are very excited to see this fight on Saturday, especially with all the hype, throughout the season, obviously. What's weird about it, though, is that you guys are fighting before the season's even over. Does that seem kind of strange to you?
Yeah, I think it's the first time it's been done, but, man, the sooner the better for me. Couldn't wait to get back out there.
I bet.
You've been off of almost 15-month layoff, that's correct?
Yeah, something like that. August 31st was my last fight.
Now, were you able to get into any kind of training at all when you were in the gym?
When I was filming for The Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah.
Is that the question?
Yeah, when you were filming for The Ultimate Fighter. I'm sorry, I just had somebody walk in the studio.
Yeah. We got to train. Yeah, we got to train the whole time, man. I mean, the ladies did their own thing pretty much. I ran their practice, and I had the access to the gym all the time. I had all my team out here, so yeah, we trained pretty much every day.
I know that you said you kind of wanted to take it easy while you were in there because of the layoff. So it wasn't. I'm really sorry, man. Somebody just jumped in the studio with a box of donuts, even though my on-air light is on. It just completely threw me off.
While I'm cutting weight, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, you got to bring it up.
I'm like, man, I'm obviously doing an interview here, and here comes somebody with a box of donuts. Anyway, I'm sorry, but that was a short-sighted question. But because of your injury, I thought you might have been taking it easy on the Ultimate Fighter. I wasn't sure how hard you were training while you were in there.
I was actually ready to fight before the Ultimate Fighter. My surgery was done in December, and I took the 6 months off. It was like in June. We started filming mid-June, so I was already training full camp by that time.
Oh, nice. What was one of your favorite training partners as far as the cast goes when you were on the show?
Man, honestly, all these girls impressed me. I mean, you got Joanna Calderwood. She was very impressive. Her mindset is crazy. Randa Marcos, Carla Esparza, Felice Herrick. I mean, all these ladies, possess something that I was, impressed with. And we had a good time. I mean, that's what I did on the show. I tried to make my team have fun and enjoy the process. Because, I mean, for them it sucks. They're stuck in a house for 8 weeks with no cell phones, no access to the outside world, no TV, no radio. So, I just try to make it fun as possible.
Nice.
Now, somebody you're not impressed with, recently you're quoted in saying that, Gilbert Melendez's stand-up is very basic, and you think that if he chooses to stand with you, he's probably not going to last more than a few minutes. Now, Gilbert is yet to be stopped in his career. What do you think you possess that's going to be able to change that?
I just possess a different style, man. No one fights like me. No one has the athleticism in my division like the way I do, and I put it together very well. I mean, I'm only getting better, and I'm very confident in myself because how hard I train, man. I train very hard for the skills that I possess. And I mean, Ben Henderson never been stopped in his career. I stopped him with an armbar first round. Joe Lozon, first round knockout. Don Cerrone, first round knockout. So, I mean, I have my guys that I stopped already, myself. So, I mean, it's for me, it's just more of a exciting of a challenge. I know Melendez is very tough. I haven't been out the first round in like 2 years, so I want to see how good I really am.
If I could answer that question on your behalf, Mr. Pettis, Dodge, you said, what does you possess that's different? In one word, capoeira. I was reading on your wiki that you actually studied that, which is amazing to me because, did you ever see the movie Only the Strong?
That's one of my favorite movies.
Because it's the only karate movie based on capoeira. So when that movie came out, I was like, man, I really want to study this. But of course, we live in the Central Valley and nobody teaches that. So when I read that you studied it, I was like, that's awesome. Did that have any influence on the Showtime kick, the fact that you did study capoeira?
Nah, capoeira, that was more of a taekwondo kick. Capoeira is more about the spins and the jump spins. So that one was a taekwondo kick. I used to jump off walls and break boards on a demo team, and then I started messing around with it in the octagon, and I was like, man, this could work, and it worked out perfect.
Worked out great.
Have you seen the video of the guy that recently tried something very Showtime-esque? It's been floating around the internet the past couple days, where he tried to jump off the cage and failed miserably.
Yeah, hilarious. I mean, I feel for the guy because sometimes it doesn't work out the way it worked out for me. Man. So,
do you have any advice for anybody trying that?
It did.
Where was his technique wrong?
Get better at it in the gym first before you try to pull it off in a fight.
At least he didn't just kick the door open and fly out of the cage, because that would have been amazing too. You're part of Roufus Sport. Now, there's been a lot of stuff happening in controversy around Duke Roufus lately. Do you want to shed any light on that?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a sad thing happened. We lost one of our fighters in a kickboxing fight, and a lot of things played into that. I mean, there was just so much that I mean, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing that happened. It's very tragic. But people in the MMA world, a couple of fighters decided to take that death and use it as their own way to get back or shed some light or get revenge on what happened at the gym. I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot of negative attention was bought by a couple of fighters that felt a certain way after they left Duke's gym. And if you go to Duke's gym, there's like 500 students that are happy there. I mean, and when Dennis died, it was last year in March. There was not much light spread on it, and all of a sudden, it's this big topic. So it's just sad that these guys, made it more of a personal thing than about this kid that lost his life in the kickboxing ring.
Well, obviously, you've been very successful training at that gym. Do you feel that you've been pushed too hard, or do you feel you've been pushed the right amount?
Yeah, I've never been disrespected at that gym. And everybody's like, "Oh, Pettis is treated differently." I'm there every day. I see how Duke talks to people. I mean, it's more of. I think people mistake his it's like a passion. He's so passionate about his teaching that he doesn't want you to lose. I mean, it's only and guys, when you sign up for the fight team, you're a professional fighter. You're signing up to fight somebody else. So you can't really cry about getting pushed. If you don't want to win, then you probably shouldn't be in the gym. So I don't think there's nothing crazy going on there.
Well, it's good to hear some inside perspective, especially from somebody who's as well respected as you are, being the champ and all at the UFC.
Yes.
So thanks for that. I really appreciate it. You did recently say something about wanting to fight Putin on a different note here. Dodge, you got the skinny on this, man, so go for it.
Yeah, so I recently saw this. You did a quick interview while you were in New York with TMZ, and they asked you about fighting Vladimir Putin. You kind of had some questions. To follow up with them, he's 5'7" and 170 pounds, black belt in both karate, judo, and sambo. And you said you think, obviously you're the UFC lightweight champion. You still think you can take Vladimir Putin?
Most definitely, man. I mean, I'm the most confident guy that comes around in this weight class. So, honestly, belts don't mean nothing until you actually test them. I mean, you can study every martial art and never have one sparring match and get black belts and everything. But until you actually fight and know how it feels to fight and get out there to do it, then it's a totally different story.
See, this is how I think.
Any other world leaders you think you could take on? Maybe you could solve some of the issues that the world's having.
Yeah, I'm not even going to get into that right now, man. I got to focus on what's the task at hand. But there's a couple of them that need to get straightened out.
This is how I think war should be handled, though. We should elect our world leaders based on their prowess in the cage, and then if there's ever a conflict between countries,
based
then
on their fighting abilities.
Yeah, exactly. And then if we want to go to war with somebody, then our leaders just fight each other in the cage, and whoever wins gets the spoils. You know what I mean?
Man, that'd be. I think you just came up with something big.
All right, we got one last question for you, man. Since we've never interviewed you before, we've been asking all the fighters this. We keep a tally on it. Basically, it's real simple. It's who would win in a fight. Dodge, go ahead.
All right, Anthony. It's who would win in a fight: a bear with machine guns for hands and feet, or a pterodactyl that poops chainsaws.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl?
Poop chainsaws.
Anthony Pettis is Team Pterodactyl. I just realized that we always say a bear with machine guns for hands and feet when really we could just say paws.
Yeah, it's true.
It's all going down this Saturday. It's UFC on pay-per-view. Anthony Pettis defending his title against Gilbert Melendez, a former Strikeforce champion. It's going to be an awesome night of fights. You make sure you tune this in. Find a friend who's watching it. Order it yourself. Go somewhere. Make sure you check this out. Anthony Pettis, pleasure talking to you, man. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck this Saturday.
All right, man. Enjoy them donuts.